I gotta be honest. Vi, Aunt Vi, Will's mom. You petty, ma'am. You petty as hell. I try to understand where you coming from, but you was getting on my nerve. I'm just saying. But we're gonna talk about it. My name is Brandon Kitaver, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And with this one right here, guys, we're talking Bel-Air on Peacock, Season 1, Episode 8, titled, When the Family Feuds, Nobody Wins. As the Bank family celebrates Will's birthday, his 17th birthday, his mom comes to visit, causing unexpected tension. The adults consider whether it's time to tell Will about his father. And guys, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out. As if you've already seen it, you have been warned. And if this is your first time finding me and you happen to like this video, please give me that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And guys, one of my complaints that I have had so far with the Bel-Air show, overall, I loved it. But I said last episode in my recap that one of my things is they do not follow up on stories from the past episode. Example, in episodes 1 or 2, when we found out that Rashad Denton, was dead, that he got shot up in the club, I wanted them to follow up with that. I wanted them to follow up with the drills, the drugs being found in Will's backpack by Connor. I wanted them to follow up with Carlton supposedly getting expelled from school because he broke Connor's arm. And with this episode right here, I kind of wanted them to follow up on the house being not raided by the cops, but the cops coming in and them not, acknowledging that that was Carlton's house. I thought that was kind of a racial issue. Maybe not. Let me know in the comment section whether you agree or disagree. But there are just a few things that they kind of left lingering on in past episodes and don't follow up in the next episode. And that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. It's not a big deal. If you agree or disagree, let me know either way in the comment section. But this is still a great episode and I loved it. It's centering on Aunt Vivian and Aunt Vi beefing. And I think that we all can relate there as far as sibling rivalry. I have a younger brother. I love him to death. I'm pretty sure he loves me to death, but my goodness gracious, man, we get on each other's nerves. And I was like, well, I guess I don't feel so bad because, Aunt Viv and Aunt Vi, they beefing too. But this is the point to where they're not even talking at all. Like, it's never been to the point to where me and my brother don't even know how to greet each other. It's that awkward. And we saw at the very beginning of this episode, like the tension is truly high. And it came out at the end. Of course, we're going to talk about that. But for Will's birthday, when Aunt Vi comes in and Aunt Vivian's like, hey, Vi, they don't even know whether they should hug each other. And I'm just like, I don't know if you saw, but Aunt Vivian kind of like put her hand over her head like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do now? I was like, man, that's horrible. And poor Will, him just kind of being thrown into the middle of that. That's just very unfortunate. But, if you have a sibling out there, a brother, sister, I mean, I know they can get on your nerve, but please just do what you can to work it out. Set up your boundaries. If you have to, open up those lines of communication and talk as much as you can because tomorrow is not promised and you just don't know. And so, I don't know, that just really resonated with me while I was watching this episode, even though Vi was getting on my damn nerve. And of course, we're going to be talking about that. But, that was a touching point for me in this episode. And we got to talk about this right here. I am really happy with how the black men resolve their issues when it comes to politics. At the very beginning of this, Carlton and Phil, his dad, are on the golf course doing their thing. And he's like, hey, Will is not on punishment right now because we're putting it on hold for his birthday, but you are. Like, Carlton, I'm trying to run this race, okay? I don't need you to have cops come into the house with noise complaints and damage and stuff, so you're on punishment. Carson is getting upset talking about, so it's okay for Will to be on punishment, but I can't. Okay. And he just goes and storms off. I'm like, oh gosh, stop it, Crimea River. But we have this politician named Hernandez, and it just kind of just trips me out. Like, can we please forget all the formalities and get straight to the point? They're playing golf. Oh yes, let's get into the complimentary golf course while our caddies carry our golf clubs. Yuck, 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 yuck. I'm like, dude, just like, okay, hey, I need your endorsement. What, you know, and Hernandez was like, you know, hey, you need to get your family in order. And I was like, hold up now. How you gonna be coming to feel like this? And even though I didn't like that he said that, it's not up to him. He said, like, look, we got to face reality. And the reality is that you are not shining that bright in the eyes of the viewers, okay? You got your daughter online making thirsty chef videos. Now, you can't get mad at that. Your wife had an outburst at a party, and an outburst, she was justified in that. I would have shut that down. That's ridiculous. Hey, did you hear about Vivian going off at the, you know, like, it's her house. Somebody's intruding. So that shouldn't have came up right there. And then you're also having police come up. I'm like, it was a party. Am I not allowed to have a gathering? And shout out to OneTakeBigDog, because I was watching his review and he made up a good point that I wasn't thinking of. Like, what was the reason that the cops came? Because is it really a noise violation? They're in a mansion. Okay, now, mind you, they did have the speakers outside, but I'm like, it was in a mansion. So I'm pretty sure there was no noise violation. It was from Connor, but you know, the cops don't know that. And at first I was like, these are kids who are in high school. They're not drinking alcohol. You know, so what was the charge? Like, they're not allowed to have a gathering at the crib. But in this, so shout out to OneTakeBigDog for bringing that to our attention, or my attention. I don't know if you saw the video. But Wilkes was like, yeah, you got a noise violation at the house. Phil came back clapping hard, talking about, yes, and your daughter, Lisa, was a guest. He was like, did you test her alcohol intake level? Wilkes couldn't say nothing but look off like, oh shit, he got me. I was laughing my ass off because Wilkes tried to come at him. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, but your daughter was a guest. So I was like, yeah, oh damn, touche. He can't say nothing. But I always thought Wilkes was a hoe for what he did. But at the same time, I like that Philip was able to communicate with Hernandez to be like, okay, let's meet. And of course, this conversation could have happened on the phone, but you know, they want to make it dramatic. Let's meet on the rooftop at noon. You know, and I'm being silly, you know, and sometimes it is important when you're trying to work through serious things to meet in person, just so you can read the person and see how sincere they are. And that was cool. I mean, they was looking like this, like, look, or Phil it was at least, I don't like the fact that you came into the race at the last minute. You didn't communicate with me. But at the same time, we are black men. We do disagree on some things, but we got to stick together as a people, try to move up this political and economic ladder. So let's just have the debate settle it, okay? Whoever wins the debate, the loser will bow out and support the other one. I respect that. I like that a lot. That is the best way that they could have went about this. And that's just dope to me. And I just wish that everybody would operate that way, especially black people. You know, we're not a monolithic group. We're not going to agree on everything. We have different countries, creeds, cultures, etc. But at the same time, you know, we can work together for the greater good. And I really do like that. Now, let me talk about Kylo for a second and Hilary. Hilary, my goodness, ma'am, I don't like Kylo. I don't. He is an asshole. But he did make some valid points in this episode. First of all, ma'am, why didn't you read the contract? Really? Now you owe this man $50,000 to kill it? Where are you going to get that money? Are you going to go to your mom and dad? I mean, Vivian, your mama did come at you the last episode saying, hey, it's great that you have a dad that saves you, but at the same time, you can't be saved all the time. And while Kylo was kind of out of his place by checking Hilary, like, I've researched on you, you did a pattern, you dropped out of college, you quit 2 or 3 jobs, you quit the internships, you know, you're just quitting, you know, and that's easy for you because, I mean, you can do that when you don't have to pay your own bills. And she doesn't. She's been living under the thumb of her mom and dad. And you can do that. I mean, there's just I've had jobs before. I'm just like, man, screw this job. I wish I can just quit right now and I could just go to the beach or whatever and mind my own business and just relax. But I can't do that because I have bills to pay. I have responsibilities. But if you don't have bills, if you don't have responsibilities like Hilary, you know, you can just quit because you have a safety net. And Carla brought that to her, you know, her attention. And she was, you know, don't be trying to sock psychoanalyze me, but it was true. And Vivian did call her out in a way. It was out of Carlo's place, you know, but it was true. And so that's just a lesson that Hilary is going to have to learn. She hasn't learned it yet. It's okay. She's still young. And we've all went through that before. You know, we all just can't quit and do whatever we want. I mean, you know, you got to work hard to set yourself up to where you can have more freedom. Y'all understand what I'm trying to say. I mean, she has a safety net. And if you want to quit and jump around, job hop, all this stuff, that's fine. Just make sure you're doing it on your own dime and nobody else. But, you know, Carlo, you know, he still sucks and he can kick rocks. And this is so gross. Boo. Will and Lisa kissing. She talking about him in the pool house. Like, I'm just like, oh, Lord. Will getting all happy, getting a text from his, okay, yeah. And he dropped my bags off. I'm going to get some loose shoe. I just want to vomit. It's gross. It's nasty. Lisa, stop it. Get out of here. I'm glad that Will turned. I'm like, damn, they're going to be smashing all the rest of the season now. But it's like, hey, I would love to do this, but my mom is in there, you know. And shout out to Vivian, man. I need to hit up my mom and dad like, hey, it's been a minute since I had a home-cooked breakfast like this. Carlton dang near lost his mind with them biscuits. These are the best biscuits I've ever had. They did look good and fluffy. You know, that are just, I mean, water and all that. And it didn't even look like they had no butter on it either. Imagine you put some butter on them things. They're going to be super fire. But mom and dad, if you're watching this video, what's up? It's been a minute. Can I get a home cooked breakfast? You know, I can come pick it up. Just let me know. Let me know. I'll be there. All right, let's do it. And at the very beginning of this episode, I was just talking about how petty Vivian is. Not Vivian, but Vi. Because they're it's nice. They're at the house. All the banks are coming in. Hey, Aunt Vi, and they're talking about Grandma Molly and how she passed away and how they used to do the family reunions and stuff. First of all, Ashley, she didn't have one line. She only had one line of dialogue in this whole episode. Now, I do want more Ashley. Can we get some more screen time with Ashley? Because if we don't, it's gonna seem like, I mean, the only thing that she's had in this is she likes girls or she bisexual. And the first time that popped up when she was speaking to the sex therapist, a lot of people was like, this really seems forced. You know, now when she was having the conversation later on with her sister, that seemed more organic. But if you're just throwing Ashley and her just to try to spice it up with different takes on sexual orientation or gender or sexual identity, you know, okay, you know, you're going to give some ammunition to the people out there talking about, there's an agenda. They're trying to turn everybody gay. And which I don't think that way. But at the same time, if you're going to have that stuff in here, at least make it organic. But I do want more from Ashley. But she did say, you know, hey, why did y'all stop talking? It's like, well, Vi talking about, well, Molly was sick. Grandma Molly was sick and I had to take care of her. That was unnecessary. You didn't have to do, you know, I had just like you getting on my nerve, you're petty. And to me, guys, Vi is very envious, bordering on jealousy. Okay, it's not Vivian's fault that she was successful. You know, like you are being super petty right now. Now I have some concerns later on that I'm going to address, but I don't, and she's insecure as well. When Will and Vi was at the beach, Will was like, hey, you know, if it wasn't for Aunt Phil and Aunt Vivian, I don't know where I would be right now. She's like, oh, wait a minute now. Are you saying that it's all of their credit and they've only been taking care of you for a few months? I've been raising you my whole life. I'm like, are you serious? Like, why did you take it there? I hate to say this, but, you know, she's a bit damaged. Now, I know that Lou wasn't nothing, and she called him a dream chaser, and she believed all his lies and promises and all that. But at the same time, and Aunt Vi did say this later on, it's her choice now. I have certain feelings when women be complaining, not all women, but when women be complaining sometime about the father of their children, like, he ain't this, he ain't that, da 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 da. You know, and guys do to it. She ain't this. I'm like, well, look, you chose to be with her. I mean, if you did choose, you know, fortunately, sometimes there can be conception against somebody's will. Of course, we're not talking about that. But I mean, you did choose this person. Okay, life is about choices, and so even if you sleep with somebody, you can be like, look, I may want to have this few moments of fun, but I am risking being stuck with this person for at least 18 years. So, I mean, everybody does have that decision. So you cannot blame it on Vi because, I mean, you know, she was able to move up in the world, so to speak, and you weren't. And I was really disgusted by her behavior throughout this whole episode. It was really, really annoying to me. And going back to Hilary, I'm really glad that she was about to make another sexy post video, thirst trap, whatever, and she turned the camera off because it was reflecting her mind like, hey, does this really reflect you? And she says, no, you don't want to sell your soul. And so I am happy about that. But her trying to give this little speech to her parents, you know, Phil and Aunt Viv, talking about when white women show their body, they are brave. But when black women just show a little bit of skin, they're over sexualized. Like Hilary, Hilary, we don't need a lesson on racism and how that affects gender politics and all that. I laugh. Of course, they know that. But this is my thing. And I want to talk to all the women out there. Like, why? What Hilary said is true, and of course, Phil validated her, but why is there a need to appear sexy online? I don't understand that. I remember I was a young lady I was dating a number of years ago. She worked out all the time, very nice figure, at least to me, you know, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. And she was just like, but yeah, I work really hard on my body, and I want to be able to show what I got, show what I work for, and that's fine. You can do that. Like, a woman can show her body without showing her body. They can. The little secret, sometimes when men are at the club or a bar or whatever, we may see somebody doesn't have that many clothes on, and she may look good. But then there are those women that have nice bodies and are covered from head to toe. Only parts of skin that you can see is their wrist and their hands, maybe their ankles, and like their neck and above, you know, and they still got a nice figure or whatever figure you desire. And that's even sexier. It's classier. Now, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm just saying, like, I don't understand the need for some women to just show their body off. And that's one thing, but then you get mad if you're viewed sexually. Now, I'm not saying you get mad if somebody disrespects you. Man should never disrespect a woman. I talked about this last episode, but first impressions or anything, you cannot appear sexy online, but then get upset if that's all somebody wants from you. It doesn't make sense. Let me get my shield right here to block all the fruit and tomatoes and vegetables y'all are throwing at me right here. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section whether you agree or disagree. But at the same time, I'm glad that Hilary is not going down that path. I'm glad that she invited Jazz over and she apologized, or maybe she didn't invite him over. Will did because they're friends for the birthday. But I won't touch. I was gonna say, is Jazz and Will really friends? I mean, you know, let's just say that they are. But I am glad that Hilary, you know, did put, you know, her pride aside and apologize for going off and all that, and that Hilary and Jazz are cool now, because I really do want that relationship to flourish. I think it was cute. I was speaking the last episode how I like the scoot in when they kiss, and so we'll see how that plays out, but I'm glad they did make up. Now, I have to, guys, do y'all feel, what is the secret here with Lou, with Will's father? Because when Vivian brought it to Philip, he was like, F no. He could hate us. And then Vivian felt that way as well. What is the problem? I mean, Vi did give Will a little bit of info, just saying, you know, hey, you know, he was a deadbeat. I followed his dreams and all that stuff. You know, he wasn't around. But like, what really happened? Because she didn't tell him the whole story, you know, and Philip wasn't having it. And even right before that, as Vivian is in there painting, apparently she'd been sleeping in the room for the past few nights. What's up with that? Because the last time, you know, she was like, I got to save myself. And, you know, there was a lot of debates in the comment section that she was ungrateful because I'm just saying right now on social media, I see a bunch of posts from especially a lot of younger women. I'm independent and I can do it all by myself and I'll pay my own bills and blah, blah. So you expected me to get married and go half and da-da-da. The man needs to pay all the bills. I'm gonna uphold the household. And it's just a bunch of ignorance and stuff. But then here you go. And basically, I'm just saying that to say that a lot of women, not all women, but I've seen a lot of women online recently just saying how they want to be taken care of. Phil does that, but then Vivian resents him for it. You know, just it's, you know, it's just like, wow, you know, you can't do nothing right. I did not know how they was going to resolve this on Viv and Vivian, but apparently she's sleeping in the guest room painting stuff for a couple of nights. I don't know, like, I just still don't, it seemed like it was a great conversation. They had a lot of encounters of radical honesty, and I thought they came to a middle ground. But I guess Vivian is still upset because she's sleeping in another room. But when she was over there painting, she gonna roll her eyes. And then I was like, damn, what's going on, Vivian? Like, you know, he's like, you're painting for real, I'm painting for the gallery, and, you know, all that stuff. So, and I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about that. I'm more annoyed with Vi in this episode, but Vivian Is she ungrateful? Is she ungrateful? Y'all let me know in the comments what you think, because I cannot, I especially want to hear from everybody, but especially these married couples. And all the married couples and divorced couples that come in the last video, I appreciate it. Please, please, please keep the conversation going. Let's keep it flowing. Yes. It was almost a tie. Philip almost won this episode as far as who pissed me off the most. When there was boxing out there, training, him and Jeffrey, I liked it. I was like, this is intense. This is different. We're getting to see more of that 007 aspect of Jeffrey, and I just cannot wait for it to go down. And Jeffrey was letting them know. Jeffrey over there like, yes, sir. He went, yes, sir, no, sir. I'll do whatever you say. So he's like, nah, man, this ain't up to you. Will should be determined if he gonna see his father do 17, or Lou should. Guys, like, why would Philip punch Jeffrey in the face? I was like, are you effing serious? He will whoop your ass. Even if he wouldn't, that's just disrespectful. And then I had to take it back. I couldn't tell. I was like, did he actually hit him in the face or did he hit the glove? And I was trying to go slow-mo and I couldn't tell. But we just go say, just for dramatic effect, that he punched him in the face. What the hell is wrong with you? Are you serious? That is so out of pocket just for you to do against anybody, let alone Jeffrey the assassin. Phil, get off this high horse, bruh. Get off the high horse. You know, and at the end, when Jeffrey was pulling out that letter, I was like, that's a resignation letter right there. Because Jeffrey was like, I'm not that type of brother. You're not just going to punch me in the face. He may have hit the glove. I couldn't tell. And I took it back a few times. But we're going to just say he punched him in the face. But that you feel, you tripping big time balls right there. Tripping big time balls. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So y'all let me know what y'all thought about that as well. But going backwards just a little bit, man, the blow up between the sisters. It's just disgusting how she got so upset. And then she sets herself up for failure. First of all, Vivian said, wait, let's wait on Phil because he's not here. And Will was jumped in like, okay, hey, let's open up some gifts. Vivian was like, no, you know, let's just wait. Let's wait till after dinner. Vi gonna come in there. Oh, sure, baby. You can open up whatever gifts you want. Vi, you out of line for that. You're out of line. That was unnecessary. And then you're going to put the picture in there, and I'm assuming that Lou took it. Well, look, I'm just saying, if you're always going to show a picture to somebody, for the most part, you should always be prepared to see who took the pictures. But as soon as that picture came out, before any dialogue, I was like, we're going to ask who took the picture. And it's going to be about Lou. And then Vivian had to come out there and, and interrupt because it was going to be awkward. Let me know what you think about that. But there was nothing wrong with the shoes that she got. I mean, as soon as Vi walked into this house, she's all envious, looking around. Like, oh, they got this over here. And you can just read all the jealousy all in her body, all in her face, just pulsating out of all of her pores. And so for her to get so upset because he got some signed J's, I think that was completely unnecessary, talking about you trying to erase me and nothing I do is good enough. And I'm just like, she was tripping. I was like, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of town. Now, Vivian didn't have to blow up like she did screaming, but she was sick of it. She was fed up. And she was insecure and petty and she's envious. She's jealous. Talking about you didn't climb no mountain. You was carried. Okay, even if that's true, it's not like Vivian is going around boasting and bragging like, yeah, I did this, I did that, I'm the one that did it. I mean, shit, even if she was carried, she humble. She's not going around bragging. So, Vi, you need to just shut up. Now, I like Carter came to save the day. Sorry for Will, his birthday party was ruined. But Carter came through as the adult, and I'm glad, hey, you need to go talk to your sister, and I'm glad that it was able to work it out. But Vi, you tripping, ma. Vi, you tripping, you disgusting. I don't want to say you disgusting. That's just a bit much. But you need to get it together. I mean, we all need therapy, including myself. Everybody needs a counselor. Everybody needs a therapist. I think everybody in the world should get one eventually sometime in their life or recurring. But it's clear that Vi needs one too because she's going through it. And it was nice to see that Vivian was able to recognize like, okay, wow, she has been doing everything herself. But at the same time, that's not Vivian's fault. Stop throwing your shade at Vivian. She didn't do nothing. Now, if Vivian was going around like she was all that in a bag of chips, that's one thing. You can check her. But I have not gotten that from Vivian. Vivian seems like, a very honorable, humble person. You know, y'all let me know what you think down below. I'm very curious. I also gotta say, I talked about Will and Lisa being gross. They're gonna come into the party holding hands. And, you know, that's just, it's just disgusting. And I'm really glad that Carlton and Will were able to resolve the differences. Will was like, so basically you're a hater, because it's like, man, everything I work for, you just came in and was able to get all the girls. And I was like, well, yeah, that is a textbook definition of a hater. But, and I'm glad that Carlton spoke his mind, talking about, hey, you know, me and Lisa been over, and, you know, she don't want me, all that. I got you. But it's still messed up that Will is continuing to date Lisa, in my opinion. Carlton handled it well towards the end of this episode, but I just don't like it. Will's a hoe for that. And with Lisa, I'm not gonna call her a hoe, but when I say hoe, I mean weak individual, but y'all get it. But they both wrong for that, you know what I'm saying? So Carlton, I mean, he gonna have to get over it, but at the same time, I don't blame him for being bothered by it. And do y'all think that Jeffrey's gonna come through with the information to give Will about his dad? I think he will, and that may even draw a bigger rift between Uncle Phil and Jeffrey, saying that I think he was going to resign with that letter on the door because he punched him in the face on the court. But man, I think we got 2 episodes left, and I cannot wait to see how this all plays out. But guys, it is very, very entertaining. My only complaint is I just wish they kind of will follow up with some stories from past episodes. And we do need more Ashley. We do need more Ashley. But guys, that is just my opinion, and I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. And again, why should you subscribe? Well, you want to get all of my Bel-Air recaps, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 1 through 3 right there. I'm also covering Snowfall, Power Book 4, Force, and Euphoria. That wrapped up, so I may need to update that. But I also have a weekly movie news roundup show. Look at this. We talked about the new director for the Deadpool 3, Ryan Coogler being arrested, and will Yilan Noel be the new Black Panther? We talked about it. Spoiler reviews right here, and also regular movie reviews. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.